It's in the syllabus. If you're a teacher, you've probably said that or wanted to say that to your students hundreds, if not thousands of times, and we've all seen the memes. Right? The idea of the syllabus is that it's this huge, important document that sets up the structure for the course, and students should be using it, and it has all the information they need to succeed. However, what we see with the syllabi is that we talk about it week one, students maybe kind of look through it, maybe you do a syllabus quiz, and then it's forgotten about, and it's rarely referenced, maybe here and there as you go through the semester. So if it's such an important document, can we make it more functional? And maybe not make the syllabus more functional, but create two documents for course use. And that's what this video is all about, is using a syllabi for starting your semester off, creating the framework, the skeleton, the foundation of your class, and then using a course map as the meat and the muscle and the tissue and the day in and the day out. A course map can be a document that your students use every day of the semester. And I want to talk to you all about it in this video. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the differences between a syllabi and a course map and the strengths of each of these. Now, one of the great things about using both of these tools is that you can make them very intentional and cut out some of the fat or the meat that tends to get overlooked on each of these. We all know how a syllabus can balloon out, and that discourages students from reading it. So what we want to do is we want to trim down our syllabus so that only the essentials are in there. They're really set up for the course, important policies, resources, materials, things like that. And then on the course map, that's where we're going to go into our schedule and the details and even more specific grade breakdowns. So what I want to do is I want to review my syllabi and course map from this fall, and also talk to you a little bit about changes that I plan to make for this upcoming spring semester. So here on the screen, we can actually see that I have my Kind 322 Biomechanics syllabi, and it has the basic course description. I really love having an About Your Instructor section. It has the basic meeting times, locations, things like that. And then in terms of student learning objectives, at the very front, I condensed my learning objectives down into 4 main ones. And it's not that I condensed them down, it's that I took a bird's eye view, is a better way to think of it. So like, what are the 4 main things I want students to take out of this? I can get more detailed on these learning objectives in my course map. But this makes it nice and small and easy for students to view and get an idea of what our outcomes are going to be. I have my related course content resources, required technology and materials, a little bit about the online classroom and my grading. And you can see that I'm able to just break this down into the important things that students need for the course of the semester. I have my assessments listed, just basics, but again, the course map is going to go into these more in depth. I talk a little bit about levels of learning. I don't give extra credit. I use a token system, and it's an amazing system that I'll talk more about in a future video. And then I have, this is one of the things I wanted to show you. This is my schedule. As you can see, it is very big and broad. I don't go into detail about assignment due dates or real specific assignment breakdowns or even weekly topics, much more than just overall topics. And this saves a ton of room. And then I have all the important class and university policies and resources, including some of the department required boilerplate type things that we all need, a plagiarism and academic integrity statement, accessibility resource center, basic needs, inclusivity, mental health, and families and children, as well as some academic success. I really liked putting this one in as some resources. So the purpose of my syllabus and what we are trying to think about here and be intentional with is that the syllabus is what do students need to be introduced to in the first week. And yes, this is kind of the contract of your class, so it's important that all those things are in there. But I don't really intend my students to go over the syllabus beyond week 1. It gives them everything they need to know. Maybe they'll refer back to it in a couple of policies. But the fact that they never looked at it past week 1 made me say, well, let's hone in on the intentionality of the syllabi to say this is a week 1 resource. Maybe week 2, set us up for success, and then we're going to transition into arguably what I feel is a more important document for my students' success in the course map. So let's talk about a course map and what a course map is. This is a weekly breakdown that students can use, designed in a checklist sort of fashion, but with lots of extra materials. Basically, it is an organized document that tells students exactly what they need to do and when in order to succeed in the class. One of my main motivations for building this course map was so that students could focus on learning the material rather than learning my system. That is not one of those 4 primary learning objectives for my course. There's nothing in there that says you must learn Baki's system in order to succeed in this course. And yes, we understand that you have to understand the culture and the system of any place that you're in order to succeed. But I want my students to be able to focus on what they are learning, not my expectations, my schedule, figuring things out. And so the way I built this out was I created tabs down here on the bottom. You can see I call them a map for each of my modules. My modules are larger, incorporating multiple weeks. And if you remember back to that syllabi, I had 3 main modules and a module 0. And so you can see that here on the course map, that they are all here. And then at the beginning of each module, I have the learning objectives, the dates that correspond to the module, grade details for that module, some notes that I would like to tell students or remind them of when they see it, and then a little bit of a key for some of the color breakdowns. And you could see this across each one of these. Learning objectives get really specific, so I can tie them back. There's the dates, important project dates or exam dates, again, grading details, some notes. And so this is kind of the big structure. What I plan to do, one of the things I plan to change for this upcoming spring semester is I want to put office hour links in there and times. I didn't have that many questions on when are your office hours, but I think because this is a document that students are coming back to a lot, having a quick access link to office hours will encourage them to come. And I might do lecture links as well. And so across all these things, you can see, again, the learning objectives, the dates, the grades, the notes. So that's the overview for students on these things. Now, I don't want to show you the first week because the first week is always a little funky, but you could kind of see it here. But let's look into a later week of the semester. And this is a very typical breakdown of a weekly checklist. So you can see that I say the weekly checklist for week 7 from October 5th to October 11th. Complete these tasks below by October 11th at 11:59 p.m. And the themes, the goals, the big ideas, begin module 2. Understand the 4 primary kinematic variables. And we talk about learning objectives 1 and 3. So if you look up here, you can see that we're corresponding to those learning objectives. And then I have what they need to do. So if a student just goes down and fills these blank boxes in, they could print this off and do it as a checklist. They could use it here and put a nice big X on it when they have it done, whatever works for the students. But it tells them what they should be watching. They know where to watch these videos. They're on their learning management system or on a website. And then I will often put hyperlinks here to help. You can see some right down here, nice hyperlinks to those videos. You could give them recommended watches versus mandatory ones, attendance days. So I do green as an optional date, red is a mandatory date, and then blue I do as assignment, something they actually have to turn in and submit, like actually put an assignment submission in online. And what they do is each week they just look at what they're going to do that week and then go on forward. And my students use this in and out every day of the semester. And this is what helps my students succeed. When I asked students at the end of last semester, what would you like to see more of in other courses? Or what do you want to see more instructors do? And that's exactly how I framed it. Not what did I do in my class that you want to see more of, but what would you like to see more of? What helped you succeed? Or what do you hope more instructors do next semester? They said module maps. They loved the organization just because, especially in this online learning space, everyone's doing everything differently. And so to have your expectations laid out nice and clear in a way that students can follow them along sets them up for success, cuts down on the emails you're going to get, and decreases the chance that students are going to fall behind in your course, which is all good things. Now, if you're interested in building one of these module maps out, I am actually running a training this coming weekend. It's going to be a live training, but the replay will be available afterwards. So on January 16th, if you're watching this after January 16th, you can still sign up. You can still get access to everything, including the replay, but I'd love to have you there live. So if you go to the link below down in the description, you can sign up for this course mapping training where I walk you through not only building your course map and giving you the template to do it, but also helping you decide exactly what your playbook should be. What assignments are you going to include? Are they high impact or low impact? What you can cut out, what you should lean into, all sorts of things. And I'm really excited to have you join. But in the description below, be sure to check that out. Click on that and head over and get signed up for the course mapping training on Epic Higher Ed. And I have a couple of videos over here that you might be interested in watching. And I really encourage you to like this video, subscribe to the channel if this helped you, and I would love to hear in the comments below what you use to help keep your students on track throughout the semester. We will see you next time.